flex right stack, 394 dragon smoke, kill, turbo, sucker right. Y2, green right off nasty, power 2, Y2, the X base back. Don't that feel good with the crowd behind you? You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back, everyone, to the off-season edition of In the Huddle. As you can see, we got some new equipment. Scott has a whole new place, a whole new location. So we're kind of testing some kinks out here as well. So bear with us. But welcome back. How you doing, Sky?
Man, I'm good, man. Like you said, I'm in a new place, new equipment. Soon, next episode, we'll be back with, not paint samples behind us, so working on it.
Right.
Working on it.
Yeah. It's been a long time talking to y'all. A lot of stuff has happened in the off season. We want to do a quick recap of the free agency and also the draft itself. Pick some winners and losers, and at the end, I have a little name game for Scholar. I'm going to go through some names for see how he chooses them in terms of rankings. But let's get right into it. So start off with the free agency. How you feel about free agency?
Man, free agency, I feel like it's been live. Like it's a lot of like to this day, a lot of free agents still in free agency that are like high quality players people haven't, picked up yet. But I think it's going to be an interesting season. I can say that.
Yeah. There was a lot of moves, a lot of good moves. I'm happy to see happen. Some teams didn't do nothing. Cowboys, we'll get to them later.
Wait, they did do something.
But I think overall, like for the running backs, I was real happy to see Henry and Saquon get some money at least, and go somewhere that they're wanted at least, because that was a big move for them. I think that had to do with the fact that there weren't a lot of running backs in the class, in the draft class that teams really like, so they had no choice but to go ahead and sign a veteran instead. But I know you probably hate to see Saquon leave New York.
I can't even blame him, and I'm not even mad at the Giants for not paying him. Like, I get it. The money he wanted for the injuries he's had, and like trying to not even reset the market, but like his value, like they're probably going to draft their next best running back next year when the draft class is stronger. So I get it, but the Eagles, man, that's the crazy thing. You're going to see them boys two times a year.
That hurts, yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like, do you think the league should change the way they do the rookie wage scale for running backs, because they tend to get wore out faster? Maybe instead of having if you like 4-year contracts, they do like 2-year contracts.
2 years, yeah.
And then allow them to re-up, because at this point you're a rookie, you come in the league, your first contract is basically, I won't say nothing because it's still money,
right.
But you don't really have the opportunity to get that big paycheck, because by the time you 4 or 5 years in, your legs are worn out or you tore an ACL, and they don't want you no more. And you see your receivers over here making 2 or 3 contracts.
Big money, man. I don't think they'll do that. I think that makes too much sense. Like that makes way too much sense for them to do that. But I don't know. I think they'll see from like as weak as the running back draft class was this year. Like I think owners feel like, oh yeah, that's why we're not gonna pay. That's why we're not gonna pay a guy, because they say they're a dime a dozen, and then I guarantee you there's gonna be some guys from the class that just came out there's nobody expected that's gonna have a good year, and it's just gonna prove the owner's point. Like even in a weak draft class, we can find a guy type. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think the QB situation is even crazier coming from the draft class. But getting back to free agency, the Bears been making moves. I like I like Keenan Allen, like especially coming off the draft pick that they got with Rome. I think he's probably not going to be there for more than 2 years. Like I can see him like retiring in 2 years, especially if he gets hurt.
Yeah.
But that's good for
Yeah.
Rome because he got somebody to learn under DJ Moore, and then Caleb got reliable targets. Like
I'm not gonna lie. When I initially heard the mock drafts and people were saying Rome was gonna go there, I was like, I didn't like it. I figured they should do better with getting Caleb in the offensive lineman because Justin Fields was running for his life out there last year, and there's no point in drafting the number one quarterback and him getting injured because you can't protect him. So I figured if you wanted to win now, he would go ahead and since you already got Keenan Allen and you got somebody else too over there. I forget they signed. You have the receivers in place. Go ahead and get your offensive lineman, solidify the offensive line to protect Caleb and your future, and draft a receiver, in the second round because there were so many in the class. I didn't think they needed to jump to him that early, but I get it. I mean, he's a solid pick, and like you said, Keenan won't be there for more than 2 years, maybe just one if he gets. I think it's a 1 year, it's a 2-year contract, but they can get out in 1 year, I believe.
Yeah.
So, depending on how he does, they may just release him, and then he'll probably sign like with the Browns or something.
Right.
Because too much pride to retire just yet. But I don't.
Where do you think that'll put them this year, though?
I think they're gonna struggle. I think they are. The Browns are the Browns. I mean, sorry, the Bears are the Bears, but they have the weapons. I feel like it's that one team that you see on paper that looks really, really good.
That looks really good, yeah.
And then when they play, it's just gonna be like 8-8. You know what I mean?
I think 8-8 is a win for them.
Yeah, but I think right now people are kind of crowning them like this is a squad. But I mean, they got gel together. They got workers on their team. They got to learn how to play in the NFL.
I like the Packers though in that division.
Yeah.
I like the Packers in that division. So
yeah. Jordan Love is solid.
Yeah. Speaking of, what do you think about the Titans overpaying Calvin Ridley?
They had to overpay somebody. I think this is the problem that teams have, that like either you're in a bad market or you're just a bad team and you got to overpay players to come play with you, come play for you. And I think they had to overpay him to get somebody out there because I mean they had nobody else there. Treylon Burks is just an afterthought at this point.
Yeah,
and that they re-signed him, didn't they? Didn't they extend him?
I'm not sure.
I could swear I saw a headline a few days ago that said they extended him, and they picked up his fifth year option. Maybe was what it was. But either way, I don't know why it was done because
they need
in my eyes he's a bust.
Yeah, man.
The question is Will Levis and what can he produce for them? And I think I call him the poor man's Josh Allen. But
yeah.
I think he has the ability to be an athlete. But his arm is powerful. I don't know if he's real accurate, but they need weapons out there, and that whole team is on the rebuild.
Yeah. So what you think Derrick Henry? What do you think Derrick Henry about to do with the Ravens?
This is what's gonna happen. They're gonna run him to the ground.
You think so?
They're gonna run him to the ground, but he's gonna lose touchdowns to Lamar
option,
and then he's gonna split carries with somebody. They're not gonna. I mean, I don't know. They may run him to the ground. I don't. It's still up in the air.
I don't think they're gonna run him into the ground.
The idea is it's a running team. And Henry's a bell cow. Give him the ball, tote the rock. But they do that. I mean, I don't know how much longer he's gonna last.
I was just about to say, I think they're not gonna make him a bell cow through the entire season because of what happened in the playoffs. They're gonna try to keep him as fresh as possible. So when the next time they get in the playoffs, they run the ball, like they stay with their identity. So I can see him splitting carries with someone, but still also like getting those goal line touches, or at least being in the I can see them bring over the Titans, gimmick plays with him throwing touchdowns. I can see that. So
yeah, I can see that too. I mean,
I don't expect a King Henry type of season, but I think he'll put up 1,000.
Yeah, I mean that thousand is not out of the realm possibility. Like, who's gonna spell him back in the roster?
Yeah.
And
Keaton Mitchell.
but he's coming back from torn Achilles or ACL. I think he got injured. Had a bad injury last year.
I think it was ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a real bad injury.
But I think, yeah. I see him splitting carries with him still, and even if not, like, you still got Lamar. Like, they're gonna run that speed option. And like, what are you gonna do when you got Derrick Henry and Lamar staring you in the face?
Yeah.
Be honest.
No.
Like, be honest. I'm moving out the way regardless. Like,
Yeah, but end of the day, I think that him and Saquon landed in good spots. I think they did them justice with that.
for
I'm
sure.
not sure about Justin Herbert though. They over there hurting because he lost Mike Williams and he lost Keenan Allen, and they got a new coach who wants to run the ball.
And left him with Quentin. Left him with Quentin Johnson.
So I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, it's and you heard the rumor that that Harbaugh wanted to they're thinking about trading Justin Herbert away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because he wanted to
I
get
did read
McCarthy.
that. I'm like, I'm like, are you serious? You got a franchise quarterback, like.
But he was told him as like the greatest rookie or the greatest QB at the combine and some other trash. But they could have got a haul for Herbert though. I mean, if
they could have, but that would have set them back even further.
If you truly believe McCarthy is that dude, then how?
And I truly believe that he is not.
I'm with you. But if Harbaugh believes that, and he can get 3, 4 first-round picks, and then I mean, you got either Herbert and no surrounding cast, or you got McCarthy and a solid surrounding cast. I mean, they both about the same. I mean, who else?
I understand that. It's just like, I guess because we not believers in McCarthy, like, it doesn't make sense to us, but to each their own. I'm glad they kept Herbert. I got some things to say about that team, but what was your favorite move this offseason?
So
as of now,
from the free agency, I would have to say that my number one team out of the free agency was probably Houston, because they added Diggs and they added Joe Mixon and they added I think
that defense Hunter is crazy.
Yeah, it's a solid team. Now that team is nice on paper, but they actually might produce, or the Browns might be the opposite.
Yeah, I will say my reaction to that is like twofold, and we'll get into that later. But like the way they look on paper and on Madden, man, the boys gotta go crazy. They gotta go crazy.
In terms of like, I should have added that to my list later. But in terms of like the receivers and fancy production, I mean, I'm sure the ball's gonna get spread around. It's pretty crowded out there, but it's good for CJ Stroud. I mean, it's probably bad fantasy wise for everybody else, but it's good for football and like real football and CJ Stroud fantasy wise. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they ball out. Who's your best winner?
I'm gonna go with Houston too. Houston or Eagles.
Eagles had a solid, quiet draft.
I don't think that draft was quiet or solid. I think for what they got in the late rounds for defense, and as trash as that secondary has been, DJ Slay is getting older. They picked up the top 2 premier corners.
Yeah.
I think that they're slept on in the draft just because they didn't, have a high draft pick, but they had the splash. I think they had a splashy offseason.
I think another runner-up to winner for me has also been Drake London, because they added Kirk Cousins.
Oh, he got 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later. But adding Kirk Cousins and then didn't add any like solid receivers for him to compete with. So him and Kyle Pitts are over there looking pretty nice with Kirk, as long as Kirk comes back, healthy enough to carry that team.
Right.
I'm happy to see that Drake London can actually produce. Maybe he can put up some numbers like he thought he would when he got drafted. Who was your loser?
Yeah. Loser. I want to say the Panthers still.
They didn't do much in free agency.
Like, they didn't get jack shit for Burns.
Oh yeah.
Like
that hurt.
Like they could have got something more, and I'm appreciative because I'm a Giants guy. But god damn, what were they thinking?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, he was a beast last year too.
Man, I didn't understand that at all. There's another team I can't think of at this second, but yeah, I don't think it's going to get much better for them, to be quite honest. Even with Deontay Johnson, he's going to get hurt, hamstring, like some tissue injury, and it's going to be the same thing over again, unless Bryce makes a huge jump.
And that's what they're hoping about. That's what they're hoping happens because they're trying to surround him with some talent. And I mean, they try to say, he was in Alabama and he was balling out there, so it's not like he's necessarily a fluke. We're just trying to make sure that the right talent and the right coaching staff around him. I mean, it's the landing spots in the draft mean a whole lot. I mean, you see how CJ Stroud and Bryce Young were like, I don't know, is he one, is he two? And then all of a sudden now it's like, what are you thinking?
I also like the Steelers moves though. I like them getting Justin and I like them getting Russ. I think they low key, like, especially, they don't have losing seasons. I think they can make a little bit more noise than people are expecting.
At one point in time, I thought they might fire the coach, Tomlin, only because he's been consistent, but they haven't been playing to the extent that you want Steelers football to play to. And so, even though he's been
but you got to look. I don't think you could take that into account because how many injuries, like, they didn't draft a good quarterback. Like they win so much. They win so much. They don't have the like draft equity, and they don't trade for like higher picks. So I think like winning hurts them.
And that aspect,
so I get what you're saying.
But I felt like even though he's been over 500 for forever, that's not what they want. They want you in the AFC Championship or Super Bowl. And it's always about, what have you done for me lately? So I was feeling like the writing was on the wall. Yeah, this season wasn't like, up to par that they're going to give him his walking papers, but they gave him an extension, so I shut up. Apparently, I don't know anything, so I let it go. But so my runner-up for loser, because I had a hard time choosing between these two, and that's the Cowboys. I felt like the Cowboys really didn't do much at all to really, I mean, I will say this in the draft. We'll get to the draft later, but they made some solid foundational moves in the draft for like the offensive line and stuff like that. But I was really surprised they didn't get any running backs in free agency that were available because there were so many out there they could have had a hand in. And then now they re-signed Zeke for a year, which I don't know why. Maybe so he can retire, I guess.
They should have just kept Pollard. At that point, they should have just kept Pollard
go, and then not having anybody to replace him. And it doesn't seem like it to me. It just shows that next year they're gonna pass the ball a whole lot. So you're welcome for giving you Dak.
Appreciate it, but I also want to say this now that I think about it, and I'm thinking about Houston. Could Diggs be an issue in the locker room? As you said, they're going to spread the ball. How's it going to be? He's kind of at the back end of his career. He's still an elite receiver, but he's not going to get elite receiver targets. I don't think so. It's too many targets. Mixon, Nico, Dell, like
they got Dalton.
It's too many people. And so tight end, yep. So it's like, how's he going to be in the locker room when he doesn't get targeted as many times? And many games. Like, you got young dudes coming behind you. Are you going to be the mentor, or are you going to destroy that locker
I think if they're
room?
winning,
So,
then it may be okay. But if they're losing and he's not getting targets as well, there's going to be a problem. And then he may not be there next year. Because you're right, it's a young team.
I mean, he's on a
I
1-year
believe
deal,
so.
no?
But I mean, they could probably resign him. If he has a good year, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't resign him. But if he's a problem, of course, and I don't. Cause they ended up taking away a lot of his years he had left. I think they voided his contract. So
Yeah.
But if they're losing and he's not getting his targets, then I could definitely see him complaining and being a nuisance and causing the issues. But as long as they're winning, because he's kind of quiet over there in Buffalo until they were losing. It's like, okay, now it's a problem.
Yeah.
But I'll say the worst team that I say to that point is the Bills, because they lost Jordan Poyer, they lost Tre'Davious White, they lost Gabe Davis, they lost Diggs. It's a wasteland over there right now. And then, I mean, you got James Cook, but he's not the back to carry the team like that. So I mean, and they did sign another running back. I can't recall who it is right now, but I think that for Josh Allen, it's going to be a few years of a learning curve with his new receivers and his new offense to try to get things rolling again. Because say what you say about Diggs and Gabe Davis, but they had chemistry. Right.
They were productive, so,
I don't know how far Josh Allen's going to drop off. It's going to be a tough year for him. It's going to be a year to find out who he really is. He can carry just anybody, or does he need those playmakers?
So that's in the conversation of, is he in the conversation with Mahomes?
We'll find out. Nah, because Mahomes lost it. Tyreek, he's still balling.
He's that's what I'm saying. So like, he's in the same situation, worse, but we're gonna see. And so I don't know. I don't look forward to seeing the Bills offense this year. I don't. And I think that defense is going to get cooked too. Like, all the defensive players they lost. So it's like, they're going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
They're going to have to throw the ball. And you know, when Josh has to throw 50 times, you're going to get 3 interceptions out them. So
it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes,
so into the draft. Into the draft. What's your reactions? The QB gauntlet, I'll say.
So I watched the draft at Mario's house, and when Penix went 8 to the Falcons, it was like, why? Like, from an NFL standpoint, I understand you want to have somebody behind Kirk Cousins. You're probably only there for 2 years. Having somebody there behind him who can learn from him and be the future of the franchise makes complete sense. But usually that happens in like the back end of the first round or for the beginning of the second round. You usually don't use a top 10 pick to have somebody sit. The top 10 pick is usually playing immediately. So fantasy wise, it sucks for his value, because like, you can't see him play now. You got to wait at least probably 2 years unless Kirk gets injured or can't come back in time before you see anything. But I was surprised to see that many QBs go that early. I thought for sure that the New England would probably trade out of the first round, because I figured somebody would trade out the first round, because there were so many teams that needed quarterbacks and somebody would try to jump in there and get one.
Yeah.
But it kind of just went the way you thought it would go, like back to back to back. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about it?
Yeah. First of all, I was happy with my team's draft pick. Malik Neighbors. I know you're happy about Daniels. I can't wait till they run another black quarterback. They showed like the infographic with the 4 quarterbacks, and they all got. So I don't know. Hopefully the new regime works out for y'all, but I think I didn't expect the quarterbacks to go the way the draft happened. Felt like kind of like a Madden draft, where it's like people just pick QBs and then receivers and then like defensive players are afterthought, which is crazy. Like, because a lot of these teams need a defensive play. I think Atlanta should have taken a cornerback.
Somebody on defense, even the edge rusher or somebody.
Right. Somebody, like, so from that standpoint, it was a little confusing, but then I'm thinking like the trend of the league is offense.
Yeah.
Like, teams need to put up points, like, and they're trying to keep up with. The Chiefs got a fucking steal with Xavier Worthy. Like, man, I can only imagine if he runs as fast as he does and Mahomes just chunks it, like, it's going to be a hell of a season for the Chiefs.
Let me ask you about that, though, because I got a question about that. So he ran, what, a 4.21? That was a little faster than what I ran in high school. I think I ran like a 4.24. But
in this lifetime?
Bring back the tapes.
Yo,
it happened. You can't prove it didn't happen. You can't prove it didn't happen.
I think you saw a 4 when it was really a 5. You ran a 5.240. And you tore your hamstring. It was never the same. I don't know about that, but I ain't a hater.
So I'm looking back at like the last 10 years and the players who the fastest 40 at the combine, and the fastest 40 time doesn't always mean production in the NFL. And so in the last 10 years, there was about 3 of them that were DBs. But I'm gonna read the names off to you, and you tell me if they were fancy and relevant. So you had John Ross. He had a time, but
he's trying out for the Eagles. What is it, the Cowboys or the Eagles?
Either way, he's trying out. So he's not relevant. So Chris Johnson, of course, he was a beast. Dree Archer, he played for the Steelers. I thought he was gonna be a good return man, but he didn't really do nothing at all. So not really relevant. Marcus Goodwin had a half a season maybe of relevancy. Henry Ruggs, saw how that turned out. Waste of talent. I mean, he could have been something, but waste of talent. Jacoby Ford. Yeah. I mean, it's a threshold to what relevancy is, but I mean,
I think the difference is he can run the route tree.
Yeah, he can.
That's the difference. He can run the route tree. So like most of those guys were like straight line speed, like 2 routes maybe. Like, so I think that works out in their favor. And then the last one
is JJ Nelson, who he's with the Cardinals now. Either way, irrelevant.
Didn't he get drafted? Gone. Yeah.
If we don't know what team he's on right now, then he's not relevant. Nobody's drafting him. So I mean, I would say that when I didn't really know about Worthy because I don't really watch college ball like that. So I didn't know about him until the combine when I saw him run the 4.21. I was like, okay, this dude's fast, but can he play football? Then after that, I started watching some videos on him and realized that he actually can run some routes. He actually is a talented player. So that 4.21 made sure.
And his mama fine as hell too. His mama fine as hell. But yeah, back to football. Yeah, he was nice. He's nice.
I seen some routes. So I think he's gonna be a good addition to KC and Mahomes. So he made a Tyreek Light over there.
And if anybody can make somebody good, it's going to be Mahomes. Like, all you got to do is catch the ball. He's going to put it right there.
But catch the ball. You got to catch the ball.
Like, look, even MVS caught the ball when he needed to.
I mean,
they let him go. But he caught it, though.
Look, I'm going to tell you, too, I was watching the draft, texting Eamon, and Eamon was betting on the draft. I didn't know he could do that. Like, betting on draft picks and which team they would go to. And he made some money off of that. I ain't gonna tell you how much he made because I want y'all to come to his house and just stick him up. But I'm gonna say he made.
Hey, look, let me
he
hold
made a little
some
bit of money off of that. And
man, people can bet on anything these days. I'm not surprised.
I haven't been in the betting game like that, but I need to look into it some more because you can bet on everything now. You can bet on everything.
Hey, look, you can even bet at Dave and Buster's now. On arcade games. They just announced it this week or last week. Bro, you can bet on anything.
That's new to me.
Creating addicts one day at a time, man.
But yeah, going back in the Bills, I saw they got Keon Coleman, who I don't think he's going to be a replacement to Diggs. He's probably going to be thrusted into that number one role over there in Buffalo, and he's going to probably fail at that too.
He reminds me of homeboy from the Panthers.
Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. Big guy, throw it up, go get it. Not the fastest, but can highball it. So maybe that's what they're looking at, but I don't foresee him. I don't think he's a number one
I think
receiver.
He's probably more of a replacement for Gabe Davis than he is for Diggs.
Right.
So you still need to go out there and get somebody else. I think they signed another receiver. Maybe they not signed, but drafted somebody in late rounds. But I can't recall who it is. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how that goes with the Bills because they're lacking weapons over there now.
For sure. I will say, going back to I was talking about the Chargers earlier. I think they got a steal with Ladd from Georgia.
Yeah,
dude can play. Like I think that's my dark horse for fantasy. You know, I have one every year. I think he's going to show out.
Too. I like him too.
Don't take my pick, Gustavo. Don't take my pick, bro. I know where you live.
I cannot guarantee that I will not do that. But going back to Washington, I want to piggyback and say that, or circle back and say that I am very proud of my squad. They did have a solid draft. Jaden Daniels is a good pick. I like the tight end, Ben Sinnott, whatever his last name is.
Yeah,
he was number 2 tight end. So I liked him, and they got Luke McCaffrey, who could be the second Christian McCaffrey. I doubt it, but yeah, he has good pedigree to be at least like maybe a return man or a slot receiver, maybe a third receiver. Nothing big, but like something who can get first downs. I wish we got some more linemen because Hal last season was really kind of running for his life as well.
You know who they should sign?
Who's that?
Who's still a free agent? David Bakhtiari.
Yeah,
they should.
Why
sign
is he
him.
still a free agent? That must be the money.
He's always hurt. And he's at the back end of his career. He says he still wants to play, but I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. But that'd be if they took a chance, I think that'd be a person they'd take a chance on at left tackle.
That'd be a smart move. So how you feel about the Bengals drafting Jermaine Burton? You think T. Higgins is going to be gone after this year? I mean, you think they're going to keep all 3? That'd be a beast they do.
Yeah. I think they're going to figure something out. Like, I don't know how. I don't know why. I think, it's just a feeling. Like, I can't see them. I mean, I can, but I don't foresee him leaving. And maybe that's just because I like Burrow and I want them to have all the weapons. But
having all 3 definitely would be a nice squad for Burrow to throw to. But can they afford? They could pay him, but they got to win now. Like, this is a team ready to win now. You can't really, it's not. But I mean, he has 1 year left in his contract at this point in time. If you don't sign him, I mean, if the season starts and he's going to get a new contract, and I don't see him staying. If I'm him, I'd probably be mad. But this is let me go.
For sure.
Where they want me.
For sure. For sure.
That would be a good move.
That would be a good move.
See, I should be a
for
GM.
Sure. For sure.
I miss my calling.
Look at you. Man, you ran that 4-2 and thought you could go all the way. Now you up here trying to be Louis Riddick. Calling every offseason trying to be a GM.
I'm telling you, bro. I was fast. I had long legs.
Long legs, little feet. How'd that work out? Boy, you got oh shit! Oh man!
The last player I want to talk to you about though was Trey Benson going to Arizona, sitting behind Connor, who was on his last year of his contract. I think
I like Trey Benson.
He's a solid back. and I think that Connor gets hurt a little bit. He's getting a little older, so I think it's Trey Benson's team come next year. I don't think they're going to re-sign Connor.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I like that pick. I like that pickup. I think he'll take over this year.
Yeah.
I could see Connor breaking his forearm and boom.
Yeah, that's possible.
So
and to that point, I mean that's who I chose as my winner from in the draft was the Cardinals, because with Marvin Harrison and Trey Benson, it's gonna be a fun team to watch. And I'm happy for Kyler Murray because I have him on my team, so it'll be good to see them. I mean, I had Xavier Worthy as a runner-up with the Chiefs because it could be a really solid pick.
Yeah.
But I think the Cardinals really made a solid draft.
Yeah, mine definitely was the Chiefs. Especially them re-signing their tackle. He got paid too. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a super interesting season. I didn't like where Bowers got drafted to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like, that's a horrible landing spot for, especially in fantasy. I'm tired of seeing like these 2 tight end sets with no QBs, and you got Jacoby Myers and Adams. Like, it's just, I don't think it's going to work out great.
I can't recall how many draft picks the Raiders had, but they didn't draft a quarterback or any other receivers, and Adams is getting older.
They couldn't draft a quarterback. I think once they realized that quarterbacks were going like they were before, because they probably were going to take a quarterback like first round. What did they have, like 12? Something like that?
They were up there. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have taken a quarterback and not Bowers, and they just got the next best offensive weapon to them. But I don't foresee them doing anything this season, especially with, what is it? Gardner Minshew. Who's that quarterback? Aiden O'Connell, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I was saying I thought the Patriots would trade back, because I knew there was other teams that needed quarterbacks like really bad. And I feel like the Patriots had a lot of holes to fill, so it would have made sense for them to move back a little bit, maybe get like a Bo Nix or somebody in the back of half of the first round, and then an extra first round pick or a second round pick for receivers or running back or whatever. But no moves were made besides the Vikings moving up for McCarthy, which is a solid move.
Yeah.
But there's nobody over there. I mean, and Adams is on his last year or two left, so I don't see him putting up a lot of production this year. And they lost Josh Jacobs, so I mean, only bright person over there is like Zamir White. I mean, he's gonna get all the carries and all the touches.
I will say, speaking of quarterbacks taking them late, I wanted to see the Giants take Spencer Rattler.
Where did he go? So the Saints? Yeah.
Saints. Yeah. I wanted to see them, like, that was the perfect situation. Like, he's got weapons on the outside, and like there's no expectation for him to like even play. So like, we need a quarterback. Like, so that was the only disappointing
so you had
part
no
for
faith
me.
in
But
Daniel Jones.
I never had faith in Daniel Jones. I'm mad they even paid him. Or like, at this point, like 6 was not high enough. They needed to lose more games apparently. So like, they should have let him walk last year, and just, they probably would have had the number 1 pick, or at least a top 3 pick. So what did we really do? Prolong the inevitable and waste money.
I mean, if you're going to let Saquon walk and you had no receivers, it really was a good time to rebuild. It probably would have been smart to. I mean, I guess you couldn't really trade him because he was injured. And if he was healthy, you probably would have just traded him away and then didn't do a full rebuild. But at this point, you kind of have, he got signed before he got injured. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they could have let him walk. They could have said, we're going to let you play out your contract and you'll be a free agent. And they made the playoffs. Yeah. And that was the problem. They, just like the Steelers, they won a little bit too much. And the difference is, we don't know what a fluke is like just bad GMing from that
So who was your
standpoint.
loser of the draft? So many.
So many fucking losers. Like
I'll tell you mine. Well, go ahead.
I want to say, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say the Bills.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, overall,
Like the, like I think they are just ready
yeah.
to lose. Like, like I don't know. They didn't have great draft position. They traded up back into the first, but like you didn't need to do that. Like, so I don't. It's
The
gonna be a
moves that
rough
they're
season
making
for
reminds
them.
me of the
And so from
Redskins.
that
Like that's
st-
how I felt. I know Bills fans feel like the Redskins. Like I felt in previous drafts. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, why are we picking this player when we know we? Why are we letting this guy go when we know we need him? No, it's not. Making sense.
right.
I thought the Commanders. I hate that name. The Washington team. I thought they did a good job filling the holes that they had and made smart picks for
Yeah.
that. Like just build that foundation from the draft up rather than going to the free. It's how the smart way to go.
I, I think that's the best draft I've
Yeah,
seen from them in
yeah.
a while. To be quiet, like a
Yes,
fully
yes.
complete draft. Like they got it. I feel like they get the first round right, and then they're just like
Afterwards,
fuck up
yeah.
everything else, and then do bad. But I feel like they're doing a pretty good job.
The
This
only thing
year,
that would have
so
been better for them
kudos
is
to
if they
them.
would have traded back into the first round because I believe we had 2 second-round picks and 3 third-round picks. I thought for sure we were going to trade back up into the first round and get somebody else, but that didn't happen. But either way, it was a solid draft. I got my loser at it's a low hanging fruit, but Penix with the Falcons, like I just feel bad for the guy because there are some people out there who really believe he's a top 3 court QB. Like I heard the Falcons had him at number 2 behind Caleb, and like they were saying to themselves, if he falls to us, we're gonna draft him regardless. Even though they already signed Kirk, they told the owner like, hey, if he falls to us at 8, we're drafting him. So they got their guy, and I get it, and I get the move, but I just feel like for him, fancy wise, like you're a top 10 pick and you can't even play until next few years until Kirk is injured.
But
Yeah,
you're
exactly. He's older.
27.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's 24 right now.
He's an older prospect, and so it's the Falcons could have got somebody to help their team win right now. Because if you have Kirk Cousins on your team, he's older,
Right.
so your window is smaller. If you're going to rebuild, then rebuild. If you're going to go for this for the win now, then go for the win now. Don't pay Kirk Cousins all this money and then not draft a team around him to allow your team to win. So it's kind of doing your team a disservice by drafting him behind Kirk and having all that money just sit there, highest paid backup quarterback sitting on the bench. But that was a draft. It was fun. It was a fun time. I think it's the first time in a while I actually watched a draft with somebody else rather than just watching it at home. So that was
It was definitely
cool.
entertaining.
But so lastly, I had some names here I wanted to run past you. So I thought to myself, I was like, it would be cool to go over like rankings, but we don't get paid for this, so I'm not gonna sit down and do like a full list of rankings. Like the hell with that. So so I figured I'd put together some names of some players that I think they're like close in rankings and have you rank them 1 through 3 to see how you felt about them. So I got about 9 groupings
Okay, let's
here.
go.
3 receivers, 3 running backs, and 3 groups of receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks. So the first group is got CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and Justin Jefferson. How do you rank them? New quarterback in Minnesota.
Tyreek Hill 1, CD at 2, Jefferson at 3.
I got Lamb 1, and then Hill 2, and then Jefferson 3. It hurts to say Jefferson 3, but the circumstances he's in now,
right?
It's got to be some drop off a little bit over there. But the Cowboys are going to throw the ball all season. So Lamb, with 140 some targets last year.
Yeah, he definitely went crazy.
And they're going to do the same thing again this year.
But I think he's just going to see more like coverages toward him. In like the receivers aren't getting better. Like I think
They lost
Yeah.
Gallup.
I can't say Lamar won. Like, they're going to throw the ball a ton, so that may be the thing. And then, the Dolphins are more balanced on offense, more ways to spread the ball. But I see Tyreek Hill like going crazy again. Maybe he does, maybe
Bro,
he
what if
doesn't.
Xavier
But
Worthy went to the Dolphins?
the fastest team of
That'd
all
be
time.
crazy.
That's 3 dudes who ran 4 2.
Yeah.
What is it? 4 2s, 4 2s, and 4 3s. That defense is going to be trash too, so they're going to throw the ball a lot. They're going to have to score.
All right. So the next grouping here is Puka Nacua, AJ Brown, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh. I'm gonna go AJ. AJ. I'm gonna go AJ, Puka, Marvin, just because Marvin is a rookie. He's gonna have to adjust.
He's gonna show something first, but it's enticing to put because the question is can Puka do it again? And we know
right. So that's why I said AJ first.
But that line between Puka and the upside of Marvin, I'm not saying it's far.
Right.
It's I think it's kind of close. I would probably go Puka as well, just because he actually did it. You actually seen him do it in the NFL, like to your point. But the hype around Marvin Harrison right now is off the charts. So I have 3 receivers here that actually switch teams, and they're lower down the rankings, but still relevant. Deontay Johnson, who's now playing for Carolina, Marquise Brown, who's now playing for KC, and Calvin Ridley, he's now playing for Tennessee. End of the day, I don't want any one of them, but
Goodwin. yeah. I'm gonna go Goodwin. You said Goodwin, Johnson.
Marquise.
Who was
Deontay Johnson, Marquise Brown, and Calvin Ridley.
Marquise Brown, excuse me. In that order.
Okay.
Brown, Johnson, and the latter. So I don't see
Ridley
them doing anything.
But
I don't see him doing anything with the
KC,
Titans.
the balls can get KC. Marquise Brown won't be the number 1 target. It's gonna be Kelsey, and the guy who got arrested. Is it Rashid Rice?
Yeah.
And so then the balls.
I think he just has the most upside. Well, maybe because
Calvin Ridley will get all the targets.
I just like his quarterback the best. He will get all the targets, but
and they're gonna pass the ball because their team sucks.
That's true. That's true. I just hate the Titans.
Deontay Johnson and Carolina. I guess the question is again, can Bryce step up and do something better this year? I'm not completely sold on that just yet, but the talent is there. I don't know neither. I mean, I like Marquise Brown because he has a better quarterback.
Right.
Yeah,
that's why
I'll
I
put him 1, 2 because he's a better quarterback. But between Deontay and Calvin Ridley, I probably put Ridley first and then Deontay. Just because he'll get the targets and we'll Levis will ball and get the ball out there. So it might be decent targets, and he's younger. He's got some life left.
Agreed. I just can't see the Titans I just can't see it.
All right, we'll move on to the running backs. I got Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm gonna go. Damn, what are they doing with Montgomery? That's a great 1-2 punch. I'm gonna put Gibbs at 2.
And then the Jets just signed a running back behind Breece Hall too. I'm sorry, not signed, but draft.
I'm gonna put Breece at 3.
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at 3. Yeah,
I'll put Brees at 1. I got Brees at 1.
I'm gonna put him at. I keep forgetting Aaron Rodgers is back, so that's
Yeah,
gonna help
yeah.
them a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna put him at 1. I keep thinking like
Yeah.
Zach is gone, Aaron is back. Yeah, he's going 1, Gibbs at 2, and Bijan at 3.
But Bijan has a quarterback too now.
It's hard. It's hard to. But if I don't want to put Gibbs 3 because if he got the touches, that's and Montgomery gets hurt all the time. Like, so I expect Montgomery to get hurt or them to like slowly like shift more towards him in the middle of the season. So fuck it. He got to be 3 until further notice.
Yeah,
Gibbs got to be 3.
Bijan is getting all the touches. All the touches,
passes,
and,
all of it.
And it's the first year for Kirk, so he's going to dump it off to the running back.
Dump it off.
So until he gets acclimated in the offense, so that's going to happen. So Bijan is going to get all the targets and all the touches, and Brees Hall is he's a beast. So I got a Brees Hall, Robinson, and Gibbs. But it makes it sound like Gibbs is like an afterthought, and really he's like. right. Like he's still a beast, but like in this scenario. All right, next one is and it kind of is the same aspects. Got Raheem Mostert, who's splitting carries with the Devon, and DeAndre Swift and Samir White. And Swift is.
I'm gonna go there exact
Mostert,
order.
Swift, and White. But Swift is where he's at.
She's in the Bears.
I got White above Swift. Yeah,
I think so?
Zamir White's gonna be.
Actually, now that I think about it, the Raiders had a top offensive line, did. So.
And Zamir.
But they're gonna know that. They're gonna know that, and either way, they're gonna send pressure to a weak quarterback. So like.
So I picked Mostert first for the upside. We know what he can do.
Yeah.
Swift and Zamir White.
I'm gonna go with White in second and Swift in third because Swift.
That's
can get
true
hurt.
Too.
I gotta think about that. Swift be getting hurt all the time, and like last year was the first year he didn't really get hurt. So and he wasn't in a full-time role, right? So
okay. Last running back committee or set here is so you got 3 older running backs who all changed teams. Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Aaron Jones. He's now in Minnesota.
Flip Aaron Jones and
so you got
Derrick Henry.
Saquon, Jones, and Henry.
Saquon and one.
Because you think they're gonna split carries with Henry.
Yep. They're gonna try to keep him fresh.
Gets like a bad rep. Like
he's because he's been hurt. When he got hurt and he got hurt and he had to split carries with AJ Dillon. So like that.
But he has the upside. He's a solid back. He's a lot of.
And he catches well out the backfield. Like you can line him up in the slot. So that's where the upside is for me with him.
I may have it the same. I have Saquon first because I think he's going to ball out in Philly. I won't say ball out, but I think he's going to have a solid year behind that offensive line. And I think his legs are still pretty fresh. I feel like this Aaron Jones slander is too much. I feel like he's going to do decent in Minnesota in the dome. But Henry in Baltimore, he's going to get the ball. I think he's going to get the man.
You think he's going to be a bell?
It's a great offense too, so you can't like that option game is going to be a killer because you don't know where the ball. I mean, Lamar can run, he can run, he can pass the ball over the top. It's going to be a fun offense to watch. I mean, if I had to pick one to have a better fantasy output by the end of the year, who's behind Aaron Jones in Minnesota?
Not Madison.
I thought Madison walked, or they let him go.
Yeah,
they brought somebody else over.
It's Tyson Chandler. It's Chandler, I think.
So Aaron Jones
Tyson
probably get all the
Chandler.
touches over there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Saquon. I think I'm gonna go with Henry. Saquon Henry, then Jones. Until Henry gets
I
hurt.
can see
I
that.
can't bet
I
against
j-
Henry. I can't bet
right.
against him. I mean, he just defies time. Like he's got to stop at some point in time, but he's
Yeah.
still a beast.
I just said that for the sake of Flowers.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's going to hurt Flowers, I think. So, but
this would be a good NFL productive team, but for fantasy wise.
Oh, for sure.
So the last group we got here is for quarterbacks. The first set is Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, and Justin Herbert, which is crazy.
Give me that in that
because
order.
if you asked me this question like last year, it'd be like slander. Justin Herbert's in this list. Like, no, he's be first in, top 3.
I think Jordan Love is going to have like a big year next year. So he's one. I think Purdy is 2. Maybe I'm slandering Purdy, but I also like the 49ers pickup from Florida, their receiver that they drafted.
Yeah.
Who knows how long Ayuk will be there? Purcell, yeah. I don't know if Ayuk is going to resign or leave.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're keeping him, but with that hanging over their heads, I think they're going to trade him because they're not going to pay him.
No, they won't pay him what he wants at least.
Right, and he that's what I'm saying. What are the Titans doing? Like, they could have tried to trade out, make that happen by any means. If they really wanted a receiver, they could have. They probably tried, but I'm gonna go.
So you got Love,
order.
Purdy, then Herbert. I got Love first too because I think he's gonna be. He has the weapons now out there. He had a solid year last year.
Mm-hmm.
I won't call Brock Purdy a game manager. He's better than that. But I wonder if his production wise for fantasy is capped. Like, I don't know how much upside he has. I think that Justin Herbert has more upside, but he doesn't have any weapons. And so if I had to go off of like the teams as is during this podcast, there's nobody. There's nobody on the Chargers team. So.
Right. So like, what? Herbert can't throw to himself. So like.
So you're right. I probably go Jordan Love.
There's no way I can put
Purdy
him
than
above
Herbert.
Purdy.
That hurts to say Herbert last though. Herbert's been a beast.
It does.
It's crazy to think that way, but man.
Situations, man, circumstances change.
We're in a super flex league, so bottom of the barrel quarterbacks mean something. They matter. So I got Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, assuming he's healthy, and Bryce Young.
Jones, Young.
You got Wilson last.
I think he's not going to make it through the whole season.
Because of injury or because of play?
I think Fields is going to take over. Neither. I think they're just going to get to a point where they want to give Justin a shot. Like, and Russell's going to mentor him. Especially on a 1-year deal, I don't want him to get hurt. I can't see him. He's been healthy for the majority of his career, so I just see Justin Fields taking over in the middle of the season. Like, especially if they're losing, which I feel like they always are losing in the beginning of the season, and then they win 5 straight games, and now they're in contention, and now they're playing for the division, and now they win the division. You know what I mean? So,
but let's look at this though. Okay, so yeah,
I take it back. I can't pick Bryce Young at any point, bro. Like, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but like, Bryce is 3, bro. Like, I can't. Like, I tried to make it sound good. I can't, bro. I cannot stand watching him play.
I mean, I would say that if you look at it, I mean, I'm not a huge Russell Wilson fan as well, but he is on the better team. They're a better organization. They got 2 solid running backs. They have solid receivers. I think they have a solid fire move for tight end as well. So they got a solid offensive team. So he's in a position to do better than he did in Denver
More.
because Denver he didn't have a whole lot around him. Well, he had decent cast,
Right.
but the organization wasn't really solid.
Right.
So I can see Russell Wilson having a decent year if he, I think he can play. He could play decent. Daniel Jones has really nobody to throw it to. And there's no running game, so I mean,
what? Daniel Jones got Malik Neighbors.
That's it though, and
that's all you need.
I think Malik Neighbors.
You seen what OBJ
Neighbors is a great
did?
talent, but
that's. But
who threw the ball to OBJ?
Oh, aging Eli
Hall
Manning.
of Famer Eli Manning.
Yeah. Hear me out.
So I mean, I don't.
God damn. I think Daniel Jones can do more though.
He can, but
his legs.
Come back from injury though. Is he gonna run this year?
That's true.
I'm talking about this year only.
True.
Is he gonna run this year, or is he gonna be like behind the pocket trying to throw the ball early?
He got to. He's fighting for his job. He got to do everything in his power. Maybe not in the first 6 or 7 games, but at
so you're
some
saying
point,
that Wilson will have maybe a decent season in the beginning and then taper off and then get replaced, and then Daniel Jones would be the opposite and have a slow season in the beginning and then
I think so.
So, and you think Bryce Young is going to be garbage all year round?
I just can't.
He got Xavier.
I want to be wrong. Like
he has some new up. He got Xavier Legette. They signed another receiver over there. I can't recall who it is. And they got a running back in the draft as well. And it's the Miles Sanders of it. No, I forgot what running back together. But he has some new weapons.
Chubba.
But I was never a fan of Chuba. I was never a fan of him. But
can't do with the Canadians.
I got Russell, Daniel Jones, and Young. Only because I think it's going to take time for Daniel Jones to get healthy and back to it. And he doesn't have any weapons over there. He doesn't have as much weapons as I think that Russell Wilson has because he has running backs to take pressure off the passing game. They got the play action and stuff like that.
And we got Devin Singletary.
Right.
You really think he's gonna have another good year?
Not as good as last year, no. But I think he's gonna have
All right then. That's all I'm saying. Like, no slight to him, but I saw like reports of GM saying that he's gonna put up the same number as Saquon.
He hasn't been doing it his whole career. He had a great year, a great season last season. I'll give him that. But I think he'll have maybe a solid year because he'll get the touches. But I don't think it's going to be the same because last season he also had a team that passed the ball very well and they had the weapons, so there wasn't a lot of pressure for him.
Right.
In the box. Right. So now with Daniel Jones, they only have one neighbor to throw the ball to. And it didn't boy retired or tight end. He retired too. Waller. So it's like there's nobody to throw the ball to. So you're gonna have 8 men in the box. So I don't know how far he's gonna go or if he's gonna stay healthy at all. Getting beat up back there, which is why I think Daniel Jones is gonna have a hard time too, because they're gonna rush him a lot.
Like they did last year.
Is he gonna be ready in time for the season start?
He's probably, I think so. Quite sure. I've been seeing him in the press conferences and all that, so
must be ready then.
I don't know. I gotta look that up.
All right, last grouping I got here are a listing of quarterbacks. Rookie quarterbacks. So we got this is this year only. So Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and JJ McCarthy.
That order. I wanted to give more thought to Jaden Daniels because of his legs. I think he's going to be more dynamic. But the Bears have more weapons. So, like, quick reads. I just feel like Caleb is going to have
The Bears will love him.
if he doesn't have I just can't see it. Like generational talent, like all the hoopla, and he has all the weapons. The only thing he needs is up here and throwing the rock.
So let me ask you this question then.
But that organization just destroyed a quarterback.
Very true. So what constitutes a bust for him? Is it like, let's say 35? If he has 3,500 passing yards,
I don't think
25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, is that a bust year for him, or is that a solid rookie year for him? And maybe like 400 yards rushing.
That's a bust. That's a bust year for him.
A bust.
The way they said he's the next coming of Mahomes. Like that touchdown to interception ratio.
How
if it
high
was 35 touchdowns,
35 to 15 interceptions,
that would be. And are they winning?
No.
Are they losing?
Well, not really, because it's a team game. So I mean, maybe he's putting up numbers, but the defense is way.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. The reporters.
So I'm trying to find the line in between the two. Like, so let's say he has 4,000 yards passing, 35 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 500 yards rushing, and they win 9 games. That's a great year?
That's a great year for him. Yes. That's a great rookie year for him. Because I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to do that.
No, I think he'll have more rushing yards.
He might have more rushing yards, right, but less passing yards, I think. More picks, maybe. I don't like. And I like that offense, but I don't think it's going to be as high octane. But it's Cliffsbury, the OC for Washington. I'm not too high on him. Maybe that's because, I don't know.
But so
I'm not too
the
high.
wild card for me is last season when Kirk got injured and they had a hodgepodge of QBs back there in Minnesota. Jefferson is still bald. Like when he came back from injury, he was still balling out. So with him and Addison, I'm trying to think how much that would carry McCarthy into the conversation of the better rookie quarterback for their the first season.
He's not going to start.
You don't think so?
Start though.
But so they're going to have was it Dalton? Not Dalton. Darnold.
Whoever the hell is there is going to start over him. I think so. I think they're going to bring him along
let him
slowly.
play in the preseason and see who does better.
I think he's going to start playing midway through the season, and that's only because Jefferson is going to say some shit. Like
they draft him in the first round, but they made a trade up a few spots to get him in the first round. There's no way he's sitting that long in the middle of the year. They got to start him early. He's the franchise now. You got to see what you have.
Sometime
I give him maybe 1, maybe 2 games because I mean. unless Darnold goes out there and really just starts, throwing the rock and starts balling, which I don't see happening. If he's having a mediocre time, at some point in time, the pressure is going to be to play him. I don't see him sitting for too long.
If they're winning, he's not going to play.
Yes, if they're winning, absolutely. If they're that's true.
Like if they're winning, he's not going to play right away.
Okay, so let's just say for shits and giggles, let's just say he starts. Let's just say he starts, and
so now we change.
Yes,
reality.
we are.
Okay.
This is my world, and I have the rules. So let's say we're changing reality, and he starts. What is the realistic outcome? Yardage wise, touchdown wise, interception wise for McCarthy in his rookie year. I'm thinking and he has Jefferson. Remind you, a 10-yard pass to Jefferson could be a 90-yard touchdown. So I mean,
correct.
You're
especially
exactly
on a slant.
So it's less of his talent, more talent around him.
That yak. I'm still gonna go 1, 2, 3 because he can do more. Daniels can do more with his legs.
Okay, so
I think he's just more dynamic.
what if I change it real quick? and I say McCarthy, Drake May, and Bo Nix. Because Caleb and Daniels
Is Drake May going to play right away?
I think Drake May and McCarthy gonna play right away. I mean, you draft them too high to let them sit for too long. Except for Penix, he's gonna sit, for a little while. But everybody else is gonna play pretty soon.
I would go McCarthy first out of that group. McCarthy, Knicks.
You got Knicks above May. I'm not a Bo Nix fan.
Yeah. Me neither. Me neither.
So you hate him less than May. Damn.
Yes, absolutely. I think Dre May, if he like plays the full year, he's gonna have a rough year.
He will.
It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix, I think, is.
He has Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams. I can't recall who the second receiver is now. Jerry Judy's gone. And then over there, Drake May has a hodgepodge of receivers that he doesn't really have a number one over there.
He doesn't have anybody. So that's why I put him 3. Like, who the fuck is he going to throw the ball to?
Got injured.
Hunter Henry? He's always injured. Their best receiver is looking like Hunter Henry at this point. Or
the running back, Ramondre.
Or Henry. Yeah.
They had that one boy from the Steelers.
He getting hurt.
What's his name?
You got to stop talking about it. It's calling him boy. He's a man. They got that one boy.
That one young man out there. What's that boy name? Can't remember the name. The dude talk trash about Aaron nevertheless, they have a bunch of receivers that are middle ground. Yeah,
are not going to do anything.
So I mean, to the point though, they're all going to struggle. I'm trying to figure out who's going to struggle the most because I think McCarthy has the better weapons out of all 3. I think Drake may
absolutely.
I don't know if he has a better arm than all 3, but
he for sure does.
I would say he probably has the best talent out of all 3, but the situation isn't the best. I will put McCarthy first. I'll probably put May second, and then Bo Nix third. Yep. I'm skeptical about that offense over there because that whole regime is kind of turning things over. So I don't think they really have much for him to support that cast, and I think they're going to.
At least they got Sutton. Is KJ Hamler?
Is he over there now?
Is he still? I don't know.
I know he was playing for Minnesota last year.
Who's
I don't know who the second receiver is now because Jerry Judy's over there in Browns now.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's and now the tight end. I can't recall the tight end he's in. So it's kind of like it's the worst situation out of all 3 for the quarterbacks to be in, and I think that I think McCarthy may struggle less out of all of them.
Yeah,
but
I agree. Out of that 3,
I had to ask. I like Caleb. I like the talent. I think he's a diva, but I like the talent. I'm hoping that he pans out.
I just want him to win because he's from the area, man. So I just want him to see him do well, man. And he's if there's any situation you go to as a quarterback, that is it. Outside of the Bears' offense is it outside of the organization. That
so
is
if I'm
the
just
perfect
the fields
situation.
right now.
Sick. And they're building a new stadium.
Oh yeah, I'm salty
as hell.
But I mean, that old line didn't do him no justice. All right, bro. That's all I got. You got any last alibis?
Man, it's been a hell of an off season. Can't wait for the season to start. Man, good luck. It's gonna be a different kind of season. Every year is a different season, but this year is gonna be quite interesting from like the draft to the free agents that are still left. I still can't believe like Justin Simmons is still a free agent. Like there's some good players left out there that can be changing for some teams.
Yeah,
so
it's been crazy
we'll
stuff.
see.
Crazy things going on so far as it is. We didn't even touch on the fact that Tank Dell got shot. That's wild.
At a mass
That was wild.
shooting, like by a 16-year-old.
I did not see that coming at all. Put that in your bingo card.
I don't think Tank saw it either.
But yeah, so we have some episodes coming for you guys. Starting probably I don't know, maybe preseason, maybe first week of this season. Some good topics coming your way. We'll touch on that later, but that's all we got for now. So talk to you guys later. See you next few months.
Peace.
Gun, flex right stack, 394 Dragon